Hi everyone, it's Beth. Today we're making a super cute Easter craft. I used one of these napkins I got from Walmart, some little fence piecing from Hobby Lobby, a lavender pick from Walmart, one of these signs from Dollar Tree, some pale pink paint, Mod Podge, and hot glue. First thing I did was pushed out the backing from that sign. It just pops right out. And then I removed the hanger from the back, and then on the frame of the sign itself, there are some little pins. I just pulled those right out. And then took off the little flamingo and all the glue that was attached to that, just pulled that off, and then sanded that whole back. And then sanded the actual frame of the sign as well. Next, I took that pale pink paint and painted the backing of the sign and the frame, and I did 2 coats of that color. And once those were dry, I opened up the napkin and then realized they have a recipe on one side of it, so the bunny wouldn't be centered. So it was already mid-project, so I just decided to cut out the napkin and then cut out one of the pieces that were plain on one side and just kind of piece them together. But they do have bigger napkins. The bunny's a little bit bigger. That you could use that would be more centered without having to piece together the napkin. So what I did was just lined it up to see where I needed it to go and then pulled off the backing of the napkins. I put on a thin layer of Mod Podge covering the entire back of the sign. Place down one side of that napkin, the plain side, covering about 1/3 of it, and just smoothed out any bubbles or wrinkles. I just did it very gently as to not rip the napkin. I did a layer of the Mod Podge right on the edge of that napkin and then placed down the second part. Doing the same thing, smoothing out any bubbles or wrinkles. There was a couple spots on there I had to lift the napkin up a tiny bit and apply some more Mod Podge because there just wasn't enough in that one spot. Once the napkin was on there and all smoothed out, I took a thin layer of the Mod Podge and put it on the very edge all the way around the sign. And once it was dry, I took the sanding block and just sanded off any of the excess napkin all the way around. And next I took the sign and flipped it over and put hot glue all around the back of it. There's like a little lip in these signs, so just try to get it right in that lip. And then once you have all that hot glue on there, take this sign and push it right back in. It just pops right back in. Hold it down just for a minute or two, letting the glue dry. And once that was done, I decided to add in some floral moss, and I put that hot glued to the very bottom of the inside of the sign and just placed down some of the moss, pushing it down. all along the bottom. After I had it all filled in, I just trimmed up any of the moss that was hanging over and then shook the sign a little bit just to get off any of the excess that's in there. I took some of the lavender and just cut off a few of the little pieces and then hot glued them to the corners of the sign right on top of the floral moss. I just glued 2 on one side and 2 on the other. And lastly, I needed to put on the fence pieces. This I got from Hobby Lobby. It comes in a much bigger piece, and I just cut part of it off. I just took some pliers and kind of bent the sides of it from where I had cut the wire. And then once I had that done, I placed it on the front of the sign and kind of used my pencil to just mark where the different pieces of the panels were going to be. And took my hot glue, put it on the sides, and then just a dot of hot glue where each of the fence posts would go. Once I had that all on there, I just placed it down and held that there to let it dry. And that is it. It's super adorable, but super simple. I just love how it turned out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And please sprinkle it around.